Yeah, man, there's something really just beautiful about what you just said there. I actually saw on Instagram, it was, now these were, I think it was Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu because they were in gis. But it was in an octagon, it was modern, and it started with a scuffle, like the one had his puffing his chest out and chasing the other one, and then eventually enough refs got in the ring, they calmed it down, and here comes this beautiful big black man with a joint, and he's just here, and he gives it to the one guy takes it, and then you hear the crowd clapping like yeah, and then he gives it to the other guy, he smokes, and then literally, and you can tell this wasn't staged, literally afterwards the guys go up and just pound fists again, like, all right, that's squashed, we're back in it. And you're right, they weren't just, it wasn't a drunken brawl, they were in their bodies, they were focused, they had their limit, their tolerance, they could still perform their craft to a T, but they could do it with almost what Aikido wanted. Aikido, it wasn't about like breaking someone's jaw and looking great doing it, it was about the removal of harm. It was literally about neutralizing harm in any way. So if you could stop a fight without harm, that was it. If you could bring it back to the heart and harmonize the individuals, that's it. And that's what I saw. I was like, that joint, they could have just gone on and smoked their own joints too, right? But they had to have somebody come in and be like, no, you both are going to share this same joint. You're going to hit it. The crowd is like, yeah, come on, enough. I know tensions get high when you're competing. That's over. And it turned out to be a better moment that it happened than having it not happen at all. So yeah. I think that's a testament to that. Like, I also get a lot of this, if you're in sports, you got to be a meathead. You're probably dumb. I'm like, no, these are highly trained athletes. Let's not fault them for also, having a temper off the court, or, not driving so well, or, needing some way to stress relieve, getting altered, and, making a mistake that many of us could. These are highly trained athletes. And I'm kind of curious about cannabis moving forward in movement. I do a lot of different kinds of movement training, but what I'm seeing is in MMA, in other sports, there's people that are like, I remember Ronda Rousey was talking about Nick Diaz, and basically he had gotten suspended for having cannabis in his system, and Ronda Rousey came, because she rolled with him, came to his aid and said, like, this is not an athletic enhancement drug, like the fact that he's done all the incredible athletic things that he's done with cannabis means he knows how to use it, and he knows how to fight hard to keep himself in optimal health.
One person tests for steroids that could actually really hurt a person, and another person smokes a plant that makes them happy, and he gets suspended for 5 years. Whereas the guy that could have hurt someone so much that he could have died in there gets a slap on the wrist. It's not fair. It's not fair at all. And you know what? Like, it doesn't make me a bad person for saying it. It just, I can't believe it's not being said more. And yeah, I think they really should free Nick Diaz. I don't think that marijuana should be part of the conversation at all. I think it's an invasion of privacy for them to test for it, and they have no right.
So I think there's also this kind of like tainted view of cannabis that's lingering but being let go of post-prohibition.
Yeah, well, not just like MAR, like, take sports like surfing and snowboarding and skateboarding. There's loads of potheads in those. I've been into surfing and skateboarding and gotten high very many times before surfing and skateboarding. And even now, I still go out for a rip. I usually, get high before I go. And it can really help throw you in the zone. You know what I mean? Drop off everything else and get you right in there. So that's all that's happening for you. And I think that, a lot of people self-medicate to get away from things like attention deficit disorder, because this plant does help you focus. It can help you focus. You know what I mean? Like, for some people, I think that it can also open up that trap door to the unconscious or subconscious and let out a lot of repressed thoughts. And that's why they get kind of uncomfortable with it. You know what I mean? But that also is part of the beauty of this plant, that it can do that. And that's probably a lot to do with its role in magic and things as well.
Yeah, that sounds to me like the intelligence of a plant, like you have to know how to use it intelligently, so to really access it, because I mean, as with any plant medicine, and I would put cannabis like, smack dab in the middle of that. Um, Sometimes it gives you exactly what you want, and sometimes it doesn't. It gives you exactly what you need. And, man, I saw this one image that was just like, at the top it said, everyone who has ever anyone who has any story about an edible ever, and it showed a normal kid, and then it says nothing, nothing, not high, still not high, still not high, and then the bottom one was just, how in a picture you can catch it at the wrong time and make somebody look like super baked, like they did that, and it just said like, oh S, bro. You know what I mean? It was just like, that's how, there's something about that, especially with edibles. And we didn't even touch on this. Like edibles, when you eat hash, it turns into what is the, it's it goes from delta 9 THC to something else. Yeah. But anyway, it's made 4 times stronger as it passes through the liver. And so, and you'll just take a bit, you won't feel anything. And then all of a sudden, once you realize you're feeling something, that's usually when you're like, oh man, I should have stopped a while back.
Make sure y'all head over to benjosephstewart.com, become a member. You'll have access to the growing library of deeper dives where I talk about all the stuff that I really can't talk about on YouTube. Make sure you get involved in the Discord chat. That's where a lot of the conversation is happening, talking about new theories, being able to interweave into the greater conversation that is how we awaken infinity. That's our highest potential. And I just want to remind you, you are the most powerful technology ever known to creation. Wield it like an artist with a conscience.